Is Timmy Turner just an average kid with fairy godparents, or should he be Dimsdale's most wanted? Hey everyone, this is Akeem with Channel Frederator, and I'm here to tell you about 9 times Timmy Turner should have been locked up. Let's serve up some justice. Public indecency. For decades now, Turner has tried to bypass the rules, the guidelines that fairies must follow. His magical shenanigans may seem fun at first glance, but you know what isn't fun? Doing time. Even though the rules expressly forbid numerous human crimes, lawless wishmaker Timmy Turner has committed a spectrum of felonies. In 2003, the unsuspecting citizens of Dimsdale awoke to the headline, "Naked Terror Stuns City." The perpetrator exposed himself to cameras across the city and ran naked through Dimsdale's own Museum of Natural History. The town hero, Chompy the Goat, was left scarred by the whole ordeal. So what sick pervert would do such a thing? None other than Timothy Tiberius Turner. Before wishing himself to the comic store to flee bath time. Not illegal, but gross. Come on, dude. Seriously, hygiene is important. Timmy neglected to get dressed. His wish dropped him buck naked into the middle of town, with just one long exposed path home. In California, where Dimsdale is located, public indecency is a crime. Trust me, I know. Probably shouldn't have said that. Just one violation can lead to 6 months of county jail time or a $1,000 fine. 2 times, and you're looking at a full felony charge. As such, when Timmy wound up in the buff yet again in the episode Emotion Commotion, it's really no laughing matter. He's a serial streaker. Now, whether Timmy intended to expose himself in those situations is up for debate. We'll let his lawyers sort it out in court. Here's hoping he hires Fairy Mason, the hard-boiled lawyer from Jeenie Meenie Miny Mo. Public indecency has to be intentional to be considered a crime. But after you see the other offenses on this list, you'll see that flashing his wand in public is the least of Timmy's wrongdoings. Truancy and criminal mischief. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Ironically, Catman hadn't lived long enough to become the villain until he was turned back into a kid. In Go Young Westman, former star child Adam West realizes that his entire youth was wasted on the sets of TV sitcoms. He never got to be a regular kid. With the best of intentions, Timmy Turner asked Cosmo and Wanda to give West one last day of childhood. The fairies grant the wish, and Catman becomes Cat Kid once more. To celebrate the carefree joys of childhood, Cat Kid and Timmy spent the wholesome afternoon playing in a ball pit and eating soy cubes, right? Wrong! In reality, they kick off a crime spree with truancy, also known as playing hooky. Truancy isn't actually a jailable crime, so at worst, it would result in a large fine for Timmy's parents. Sorry, truancy officer Shallowgrave, but they're off the hook for that one. What could get the felonious feline and his pink-hatted partner locked up, though, are charges of criminal mischief. Timmy and Cat Kid TP Mr. Crocker's house, which is not only defacing his property, but could also be considered trespassing. Definite misdemeanors. When Shallowgrave catches them in the act, Turner tries to wish for a train to hit him. That's right, attempted vehicular manslaughter. It's against the rules, so Cosmo and Wanda couldn't grant it. But hopefully you're seeing that the law alone can't stop Turner's reign of terror. This kid's evil, seriously. Mutilation of national bank obligations. Wow. A lot of big words in this one, huh? Really, it's just legalese for intentionally destroying U.S. currency. It covers cutting it up, defacing it, pretty much any action that makes it unusable. To keep the superhero analogies going, some men just want to watch the world burn. In Mr. Right, Timmy wishes to always be right, and instead of the wish making Timmy smart, it just liquefies the laws of physics in accordance to Timmy's stupid wrong thoughts. Not illegal. When Turner gets home and Vicky asks him to guess what's burning, his comic book collection, he rebuts that it's actually her life savings. The burning stack of books magically poofs into a burning stack of legal tinder. This type of crime typically goes unpunished since, well, how will anyone know that you ripped $1 in half? But considering the quantity of cash in this situation, Vicky may just have a case. On top of the mutilation charges, there may also be grounds here for a grand larceny charge. I mean, after all, Timmy took all of Vicky's money without her consent. In the end, though, it's not about the money, it's It's about sending a message. Copyright infringement. 3D printing is one of the most buzzed about innovations of the last decade. The technology has a ton of legitimate legal uses, but one popular illegal use is printing and sharing designs based on intellectual properties. Copyright laws don't yet have a concrete definition of what constitutes a breach of copyright in these cases, but so far, it hasn't stopped companies from taking action against the folks using their intellectual properties. Timmy was way ahead of the curve on this one. He's been fraudulently reproducing merchandise since 2003 using his magical copy machine. In the episode Hard Copy, Wanda gives him the printer so that he can satisfy his selfish thirst for wishes while she and Cosmo are at the doctor's office. Timmy breaks out a toy catalog and scans all the items inside, reproducing popular toys like Flipsy, trademarked, and Dark Laser, also trademark, from Space Wars. But that's a copyright. If Space Wars copyright holder, let's say it's the Walt Kidney Company, want it, then they could send Timmy a cease and desist notice. If Timmy was found guilty of copyright infringement, the punishment could be several $100,000 in fines and jail time. Plus, if people get in trouble for printing bulgy likenesses of popular franchises, can you imagine the legal ramifications of printing a life-size animated Dark Laser? Unauthorized access. Computer hacking and cyber terrorism are hot-button topics at the moment, and Timmy Turner is not untouched by the Zeitgeist. After his parents sent an embarrassing email to his crush, Timmy shrinks down and goes inside the internet to take back the threatmantic email. Definitely close enough to cybercrime by Hollywood standards. And remember those funny gags where Timmy spies on AJ or that Australian girl? Yeah, they're creepy at best and unwarranted surveillance at worst. Not to mention that in AJ's case, the information that Timmy eavesdrops on is a direct correspondence between AJ and the President of the United States. Now that's pretty dang treasonous. The most applicable crime across the motherboard here, though, is unauthorized access. Essentially, a digital invasion of privacy. Each computer that Timmy zaps into is an invasion of his friend's privacy, and the information he accesses is taken without authorization. Crimes of this magnitude, especially when the president is involved, could have Timmy looking at a decade in federal prison. Good luck hacking yourself out of that one, Turner. Accessory to kidnapping. Kidnapping is a serious and despicable offense, but frankly, I'm just happy that this entry isn't about the murder of Chip Skylark and his shiny teeth. If Timmy had his druthers, his ruthless, lethal druthers, then the shiny-toothed pop star would have been killed in a crime of passion. Turner was consumed with jealousy when Skylark stole all the attention at his birthday. By the way, the theft of someone's heart with catchy pop jams is not illegal. In a desperate fit of rage, Timmy wished that something bad would happen to Chip. A bad thing could be anything from a horrific car crash to a cracked tooth, though the bigger crime would be messing up Skylark's perfect, beautiful face. It's telling that the wish was shot down by Cosmo and Wanda, since it could cause Chip bodily harm. Instead, the worst, non-lethal something that Timmy could do to Chip was to wish for his car to break down outside of Timmy's house. Now this leads to Vicky kidnapping him. Here, Vicky is the criminal, not Timmy, but he is completely complicit in her crime and thus at least an accessory. He even confronts the hostage, aware that he is being held against his will, yet failing to report it. Ultimately, Timmy decides to show mercy and let Chip go, but we can only wonder what horrors would have befallen him if not for the rules. Negligent property damage. Now, to be fair to Timmy, not all of his crimes are deliberate, premeditated misdeeds of an evil mastermind. No, sometimes he's just downright negligent. Negligence is a great legal term that means that an individual has what's called the duty of care to prevent a situation, but fails to do so. In other words, Timmy's greatest talent. In Timmy's 2D House of Horror, the boy Blunder wishes that the special effects in a movie, The Haunted Volcano, were more real. This causes an actual spurt of lava to blast out of the film and destroy Vicky's house. I don't know if you can go so far as to call this arson, but it's definitely property damage, and Timmy is liable. And a good 99% of the time, destruction via volcano cannot be chalked up to any one person's negligence. That's not an actual legal fact, it's just, you know, what volcanoes are like. In this case, though, it's completely the result of negligence on Timmy's part. He created the volcano and had the means to prevent the damage, but chose to do nothing about it in hopes that Vicky would be forced to move away. Timmy breached his duty of care, and so somehow he is more at fault than the freaking volcano! Assault and battery and coercion. We're officially crossing over into the dark side now. Timmy's last shred of innocence has disappeared. The road to the dark side is paved with assault, battery, and coercion. When Timmy joins forces with Dark Laser, trademarked in The End of the University, he's given a suit that allows him to break the rules completely. Thankfully, he doesn't act on any homicidal tendencies. He does use his newfound abilities to cheat in the science fair, but that's not really a felony. It's just a crappy thing to do. Come on, Timmy, seriously. Assault and battery, on the other hand, is a felony. When Timmy and his fairies slam Francis and Mr. Crocker into the lockers repeatedly, they are purposefully using force in an effort to cause injury. Even if they don't sustain lasting damage, Timmy's victims could assert that his intent to harm them was very obvious. As for coercion, that's generally defined as forcing another person to act against their free will. For example, Timmy brainwashing Trixie into kissing him. While there's no legal precedent for magical brainwashing, it's wicked creepy and palpably illegal nonetheless. Never underestimate the power of the dark side. Domestic terrorism. Now let me just cut right to the chase here. Nega Timmy is a terrorist! He first appears when normal Posy Timmy makes a wish to do the opposite of everything his parents tell him to do. They tell him to be good, so as per the rules, he rebounds into a straight-up evil supervillain. His first crime? Remodeling his living room into a secret lair. Now that's gotta require some kind of building permit and safety regulations from the town of Dimsdale. And we're pretty sure Nega Timmy did not go through the necessary bureaucratic measures. He then creates a super deadly super evil laser, that's the actual name, which is clearly a weapon of mass destruction. His intention is to shoot down a satellite, causing it to crash into Mount Dimsdale. The resulting volcanic eruption is meant to destroy the Dimsdale Dam, leading to a flood of the makeup factory, which will result in the total collapse of society. Can we just take a second to break down how unabashedly illegal this is? Seriously. That's an egregious amount of private and public property damage, much of it government-owned. Satellites and dams cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Destruction of either could be tried on a federal level. The volcano too may be considered public land, so tack a hefty fine on for that damage. Also, dude, again with the volcanoes? What's going on? Seriously? Someone's got an MO! Or preference. Then there's the whole plunging society into chaos aspect of the plan, which is textbook terrorism. Though Timmy is able to reverse the wish and undo the damage, it's flat out irresponsible not to take him into custody immediately afterward. To think, at one point, all we had to worry about was streaking. Once again, I'm Akeem, and thanks for watching Timmy Turner Locked Up. Did we miss any felonies? Do you want to plead Timmy's case? He's really gonna need a good lawyer. Comment below and let us know. And don't forget to click the bell icon to become part of our notification squad. We have new videos dropping every single day, so make sure you're subscribed. And remember, Frederator loves you.